Talk about something really serious. Let's talk about how we as humans try to bypass the process all of the time. And we don't even realize that we're doing it. It's happening from our subconscious mind. So here's what you can look at to see if you are actually bypassing the process. I've made a whole video on spiritual bypassing, which I'll link below as well. You can go check that out. What I want to talk about in this video is how you are bypassing so you can look at it for yourself. If you are bypassing, if you are claiming to be special or something that you actually are not, there's a reason for this and you will always get exposed. Anyone who is claiming to be a guru or heal people's trauma or are super psychic or they're so special or they're talking to aliens and they haven't actually done the work to acquire this knowledge, information and title will always be exposed and never be able to really grow into that person that they're pretending to be. You can't pretend. You always get exposed no matter what happens. So anyway, let's get stuck into it. Here's things that you could be doing to bypass and you're not even realizing you're doing it. If you're trying to get to the end of something really quickly without actually doing all the things in the middle, you are trying to bypass. And usually this is happening because the subconscious wants to get to the part where you get the validation, because the validation is how you feel loved. So you're trying to get there as quick as possible. That's one thing you could be doing subconsciously. If it's really hard for you to receive, you are going to bypass like a motherfucker. And what do I mean by it's hard to receive? Now, this is a concept that a few of you may not have heard of before. Here is a way to look at it from a very basic perspective. Can you receive a compliment? Do you react when you get a compliment and go, oh my God, that person's making it up. They're lying. Why are they saying that? They're trying to manipulate me. That's not true. All of the things, you don't even hear it, or you cannot receive that compliment. That's a very strong indicator that it's hard for you to receive. Now, when you can't receive, you could be working with the top level psychic in the entire world. They're your personal mentor. But if you cannot receive their teachings or their information or their care, there's no way you're going to be able to embody the practices that they're passing on to you. Your brain is going to block it and push it back and then project it onto them and blame out. Here's the other part of bypassing. If you're constantly blaming the other person, the course, the facilitator, the book, the whatever, you are not taking responsibility for your role in it and you are projecting and blaming out. You're trying to bypass the process and not take responsibility for what you're actually doing. So if you find yourself constantly blaming everyone else for everything that's happened to you in your life, you're trying to bypass. If you hear your mind say stuff like, oh, I already know that, I don't need to do that, I'm special. If you're saying, I don't need to do that, I already know, your brain is shutting you down. It's creating a disconnect and separation, which is also going to make it really hard for you to receive because you think, I'm too smart, I don't need to do that. No, that's not how it works. You're actually trying to bypass and your brain is pushing it away and creating some type of excuse for you to not receive that information. So those are a few things to take into consideration. If you've bought all the courses and all the books and you still haven't been able to get to the professional level that you've been wanting to, you are trying to bypass. And it's also linked back to not being able to receive. There are many reasons it's hard for us to receive, and generally, broadly speaking, it comes down to a lack of trust. So get really curious about what's happening from a subconscious perspective that's causing you to bypass. You may not even be aware that you're doing it, but as soon as you start to get curious and take responsibility for it, things in your life will rapidly shift and you can start really working towards your goal and the person you're wanting to become. If you have any questions about this, reach out, let me know. I've also been through this process. I've also tried to bypass. It never works. So good luck with your practice. I hope this helps.